Welcome, Black Hollywood Live fans. You're watching the after show for Greenleaf. Tonight we are joined by Benjamin Patterson, and we have a special guest, Oprah Winfrey, calling in. Stay tuned for more. Wow, guys, what an episode. Welcome, Black Hollywood Live fans. You're watching the after show for Greenleaf. Again, my name is Shaka Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
You already know y'all can find me everywhere at Mr. Carter.
You guys, Mac is back. You guys can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at One Take Stace. What an intense and amazing finale. Enjoying.
Hello, everyone. It's Benjamin Patterson. Once again, you can find me on Snapchat and Instagram at Benjamin Patterson all day, and Twitter at Ben Just Creates.
Well, we gotta thank you again for joining us here. What a great episode for you too.
Thank you. It showed where Noah went. We had a few questions earlier on that I could not answer.
We know where he went, but we don't know exactly where he's going.
We don't.
So, let's talk a little bit about that. Let's just get into that a little bit.
Sure.
From your perspective as a viewer, I like to get your viewer's perspective because I'm at a loss. I don't know if he's actually chosen Isabel or if he's, this is just a little moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, viewer-wise, I would say it's not as clear, but it's a directional choice that he's making. He's like saying, hey, look, I want this to work. And on her end, she was like, look, you know what? I know you said we said we wanted to wait, but that's not making us work, so I need to take a step in the right direction. And she showed up with the room key, like, hey.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That's what I loved. The title of the episode was "What Are You Doing Here?" and I felt like saying that a billion times. Like, what are you doing here, Isabel? What are you doing here? What do you guys think?
You're so Shaka. That was perfect because when Grace said it at the end, "What are you doing here?" I lost my mind. When Isabel had that moment with you, when Mavis had that moment with Lady Mae. I mean, it was so many moments of seriously, why are you back in my life? Why are you in this moment?
And Mac and the Bishop.
Oh my God.
Even Lady Mae and Gigi, when everyone stands up to applaud Gigi, was like,
I'm like, what is she doing? What are you doing?
That was intense.
That was good.
Deep.
Oh my gosh.
Deep. That was seriously deep. But for me, I'm glad to see you guys interacting again. You feel me? I'm glad to see that she kept her word and was like, when I'm ready, you feel me? So I'm glad that you guys are interacting again. Now, I'm also glad that you took her down. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's your woman, so shout out.
So we have Oprah calling in.
Yes, we do.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep, it's Oprah calling in.
Oh, my goodness.
It's Oprah calling in.
Hello.
We just really want to thank you for joining us on the line right now. We just love the show. It's amazing.
Oh, my God.
I think chief amongst us, we want to know, from the beginning of your vision of Greenleaf, is this where you saw it going? Is this how you saw it unfolding on the screen?
Well, you know what? It's so funny. I wanted to be able to show Black family life in a way that allowed people to see themselves reflected on television. So I think every family member does that in their own way. And also, I wanted to show that would be aspirational as well as inspirational, but also, fun and entertaining. So I think we accomplished all that. But no, I didn't know. As a matter of fact, there was not a scene with Mavis and I until I was saying this to Stacy the other night. There wasn't even a scene with us, and the finale was going to end with Grace's daughter leaving, Sophia leaving, and I didn't think that was enough. And I thought that all season people would want some kind of confrontation between Lady Mae and Mavis.
Right.
And I literally was down filming that last scene in the bar when Mavis loses the bar, and I called Craig Wright in the writer's room and said, write us something.
Yeah.
Write us something so that, we can have at it. So I can say all the things that I've been feeling.
You sure did too. Wow.
And so they literally wrote it.
Yeah.
And we memorized it. We memorized it in an hour. We got it the same day we did it.
Wow.
And went at it. We probably did that 7 to 10 times.
Wow.
And as I tweeted tonight, I ended up with I had such a major headache when I finished because anger is not my first emotion, nor second, nor 55th.
Right.
You know, I have to work really, really, really hard to get to a place where I can be that angry with someone. So I was like, I actually learned a lot. I thought, wow, there are people walking around this mad.
Right.
Every day. Wow, it's crazy.
So what kind of
It hurts you to be that mad.
What kind of backstory did you create for your character to have such a powerful scene? Because honestly, I didn't know Mavis was that mad.
Yeah.
Well, Mavis, you know, as you will see next season, there's a whole lot of inner family dynamics that went on when they were younger.
Okay.
So she's carrying a lot of buried rage from the past, and you know, things that have gone unsaid or overlooked, or you know, people been in denial about within the family, just like all families have. You know,
Right.
terrible things happen, nobody says anything about it, you go through all the motions, you have the holiday dinners, and everybody just tries to keep that, you know, quiet, and then something happens and you explode, and people or implode. So, you know, as much of the truth of what's really going on in other people's lives or has gone on in our lives that we can bring into the actual script. That's what we're doing. That's what's fun about it, because you that's what makes you see yourself in it and all the other characers.
Gosh, the
Yes,
last
that
5
was
And I
minutes.
just love. I mean, I saw you guys had Ty White on not too long ago, and I just, you know, one of the things I wanted to say, because I think, and, you know, all my gay friends are like, oh, you got to let him come out, and you've got to. And I think theirs is a complex relationship.
Right.
And one of the things I wanted to express is the complexity of that. I think he really does love her, but he's also conflicted because of his own feelings. But that doesn't make him love her any less. You know?
That's very
And
good.
so
That is
where we're going to take that, I'm really not quite sure. I'm currently, you know, filming Henrietta Lacks for HBO, so I haven't been in the writers' room. The writers' room just started up for next season,
Right.
and so I haven't had extensive conversations. But we all have our ideas about what to do and how to play this out in such a way that at least he gets to remain in the you know, I feel strongly that he should, you know, he is the father of those babies, and
Has
he
to,
has to
right.
be the
has
father.
to stay there. Has to
Yeah.
stay there.
Yeah.
And
Anyway,
Oh my gosh, that's so
Hanging on
good.
there.
those are just my thoughts. It doesn't mean, you know, it doesn't mean I always win. You know, we go in the room, and you know, sometimes I come out and I don't win. But
Right.
I would like to see them stay together. At least try.
At least
Yeah.
try, yeah.
Is that the couple you're rooting for the most between Grace, Noah, Carissa, and Jacob, or Charity and Kevin?
Well, we see
Or
Mr.
another couple.
Patterson tonight. Mr. Patterson.
Yeah.
How are you?
We see Mr. Patterson. I said, what happened to the wait? Y'all didn't read Devon and Megan's book, I guess.
We tried. Isabel got fed up with waiting, and she wants to compete. So I think she decided.
I see.
Back in the
I
game.
thought that was great. I thought that was a really great scene, and I think really satisfying for the audience.
I agree. Thank you. Thank you
You
so
know,
much.
early on into the script, you know, it's very important for me, and you know, just our network. It's important to put out images, not just that are positive images, but that are really reflective. Because, as you all know, we have a wide range of diverse experiences within the African American community.
Yes.
You know, not everybody is the same. There isn't just one way to be black. But what was really important for me and the other writers was to have a male character who was upstanding. So in the beginning, you know, the whole affair with Jacob, I thought it was interesting, but I also thought Jacob needs to straighten up, and so that we have, you know, a father figure who actually cares about his family and is, going to figure out a way to go to therapy. You know, men nowhere want to go to therapy for the most part, and doesn't want to go to therapy, but reluctantly goes to therapy, and then is willing to turn himself around, and they can rebuild their marriage. So I was really most excited about that relationship turning itself around, and having that pivotal moment when, you know, they're going to go with the swingers, and then he realizes, oh, I don't want you to be with another man. Right. So I love that one.
You mine.
I think you touched a little bit about diversity, and I know I just read an interview recently where you talked about with Ava DuVernay diversity versus inclusion, and that we're going to be focused more on inclusion. I want to know, for a viewer, what does that mean for us?
Well, it means that we are always thinking about the audience. I mean, that's the way I operated for all the years I was doing the Oprah show. I sat in the chair, held that space that you know, behind the microphone that you all now hold. But I held that space behind the microphone, not in my own name, but in the name of the viewer, who was always included in every conversation. So there were no questions that I ever asked or nobody ever talked to that I wasn't thinking about the people at home who were watching and what they wanted. So I always felt empowered by the viewer, because I always felt the viewer was included at on the couch, on the sofa, with the microphone along with me. When I speak about inclusion in business and life, I'm now speaking about the specificity of not just having diverse people working with you and around you, but having diverse people who are included in the decisions that are made at the tables that really count. That's what I mean by that.
I love that. So the last scene, Mac is back. Now, I wasn't happy. But with you had your mom with Lady Mae, and you told her to get out, and you said that, listen, like, you know, she was a part of the problem, which was such a beautiful, you know, it just made a lot of sense, because I feel like we all believe she was a part of the problem at one point. So with that said, what do we see from Mavis in season 2? We have Mac is back. You finally told Lady Mae off. Are we going to get to see you more involved? Are you going to help set them straight? Or, you know, the bar's gone. Where do you go?
I don't know. I have to go to the writer's room to figure out.
Tell them we need you on screen.
What I do think, though, I mean, what I'm looking at, I think Mavis is a little too stoic and too, I mean, Mavis needs to loosen up. She needs to take some curl out of the wig. You know, I think, I don't know. You know, I think some of Mavis's recurring problems from the past are going to show up. I think she's too Auntie Mavis-like now. So, you know, I think we you know, she needs to loosen up a bit, number one. Where is she going to live? How is she going to stay? What's she going to do? I can honestly tell you, I don't know. But it will be interesting. And, you know, our goal for season 2 is to drive the plot as we continue to develop the characters in such a way that they become real people to you.
Oh, absolutely.
So that, you know, you wake up in the morning and you go, I wonder what Noah's doing.
Honestly, I do wonder what you do.
What you be thinking
and when
about,
you're going to
Noah?
figure out who you want to be with.
Oh, my God. Are he and Isabel, they're going to have a baby.
Oh,
What's
that
they become
like?
real people to you.
I personally have attacked Ben before and said, what do you want? And I realized it's Ben, not Noah. So good.
We're also going to be covering the after show for Queen Sugar here at BHL, and we love where that's going. Do you have any insight for the fans about Queen Sugar?
Do I have any insight for the fans? I love this is I can't believe that that it took me years ago when I was building this network, and everybody was calling it the struggling network, and that was the narrative that everywhere I looked, because I felt I was struggling, so I realized that narrative was being reflected back to me, so I had to change the way I saw it, that, I have to change the word struggle to opportunity. This is an opportunity. This is a platform that you can use. So that's when things started to turn around, and I didn't think that I would be just 5 years in with two scripted shows that speak to the audience in the way that they do. I mean, it's really just being led by the hand of God and having a team that's been willing to put their nose to the ground and come together and collaborate and make this happen. So I did not do this alone. There's a whole team at OWN that, have helped to make this possible. But it is the dream come true for me to be able to tell these kinds of stories. And that's what I now see myself doing in the world, using this platform to offer opportunities for filmmakers, people who love storytelling, to tell our story in ways that touch the hearts of people, open up the way they see what is possible for people of color. I just think, there's so many stereotypes and so many limited ideas about who we are and what we can do and how we move through the world. And I think Greenleaf breaks down that barrier, and Queen Sugar just knocks that door wide open. It is such a feeling, sensual, poetic, and lyrical piece. It really is Queen Sugar is like watching 13 films. So I think that people will love those characters, because that was also our goal. Sitting on my porch with Ava DuVernay, talking about how do we tell the stories about people we know, so that when you go into Violet's kitchen and you see that orange Fanta soda on the table,
Fanta soda.
That is your aunt's kitchen.
Right.
All have been in that kitchen.
Right.
And there's a bowl of, they are, picking collard greens and shucking corn at the table. You know that kitchen. So, and you know the backyard, and you know the people that are coming by, and it feels familiar, yet inspirational and aspirational to be able to tell these stories in such a way that people see their own lives reflected, but also lifted to what is possible. So I'd love to keep talking to y'all, but I got 4 pages to memorize for tomorrow.
Absolutely. We love you.
Thank you so much for
Thank
calling.
you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Oprah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your support. Want to know what you think next week after Sugar?
Okay, we'll let you know. We'll be right here. Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, that was awesome.
So, Mama, just
That was awesome.
Okay, Mama. Love it.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, take it in, soak it in.
Right.
Soak it in.
Okay.
This is Ben. This is not Noah.
Yeah,
That was Oprah. That was not Mavis. Love it. Okay.
So, that was our own What Are You Doing Here moment. That was
Right.
great. Yeah, Oprah, what are you doing?
I love it. Okay, so with what she said, I also, I don't know, have you gotten to see Queen Sugar?
Not yet.
Already?
No,
Okay.
I spoke with Tim the other night, and I'm excited. It's recording, so my car is started right now.
I love it.
I'm up all night tonight.
It's so beautiful. Go ahead.
What are your thoughts about, I guess, diversity and inclusion? Because I just love this whole idea of telling more and more diverse stories.
I think she's right on with it, and it's a very interesting dynamic. I mean, you've got myself portraying my character, you've got Ty playing his character, you've got everybody doing what they're doing, and it's such a diverse group that it's almost seamless, and sometimes people don't even realize it, but there's so many layers to the diversity that it's not just, okay, we need 3 black people, 4 black people. You know what I mean? It's like we've got all different styles of people, and so mmany people are now feeling like, oh my God, like I can watch this because I know these dynamics are included in this show, and it's not just like let's portray it negatively. Let's just show it how it is in life. Like you go to DMV, everybody goes to DMV. Okay, you know what I mean? So it's wonderful. It's fantastic. It's a great time to be alive and working.
Absolutely.
What scene tonight did you scream at the most? I mean, you were there, so you know what we were screaming about. Like, what were you screaming about?
You know what? I want to say it was the Mae scene, because I didn't even know. She said it wasn't even written.
Right.
The scene with Isabel and I wasn't written.
Oh, wow.
And that was hey, guess what's going to happen? So we, came together and made it happen. Yeah. No pun intended. I'm sorry. But I will say the scene with Mac and Bishop behind the glass. My goodness. I mean, there's so many moments that I go, okay, Ty nominate him. Bishop, Mac, nominate him. Oprah and Lady Mae, nominate me.
Nominate. No, seriously.
But there's some just gems with every single couple, and the kids are phenomenal. You know what I mean? So, like, it's like season 2 is gonna be a wicked ride because there's so many questions that have to be answered, and then what else gets uncovered? You know what I mean? So,
quick shout out to the chat room. We see you
Yes,
guys.
we see y'all.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Everybody says
you.
thanks, Oprah. I love it. I love it. I love it. I would say, is it crazy? Like, this episode had so many drop lines.
Yeah.
Sophia saying, "Mom, just have a little faith." That hit me hard.
I just got the chill.
Yeah.
Right,
That,
like,
that, and when she hugged Zoe and was like, my sister.
My sister, that was
Y'all, like,
tough,
I got
yeah.
chills. I was tearing up, like, yo, that's real. Like,
Yeah.
they don't have, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you
Yeah.
my sister. Like, we have a sisterhood. We're not just cousins. Like, you my sister.
From where
Right.
they came,
You
too,
feel me?
from the
Yeah.
beginning of
Yeah,
that.
like,
yeah.
that's-
when they were
that's
strangers.
Yeah, when they were strangers.
Yeah, that's deep, you know?
I just had to mention the moments because
And
there was
Mac
just a
came
few.
back with the kiss on the cheek,
That is,
That was
and that
petty.
look, that like,
Ooh, y'all, the
was-
serpent.
and that's why I never thought he would commit
serpent,
suicide,
y'all.
because there's something about
Yeah,
a
no,
selfish
he knows.
person that even when they feel their lowest, they're still trying to preserve self, you know?
That's
Like, and he
insanity.
came back in such a way. I guess, well, we already know we thought about it, right?
yeah. Now, he knows enough that he feels he's all right.
Who got
Yeah.
him out, y'all?
That's all we need to know.
Yeah,
That's
that-
all
that's
I want
the
to
And
next
I'm
find
mad
out.
question.
that we have to wait till season 2 because I'm like, oh my god, I was not ready for that bombshell, y'all.
But you saw
That-
he came with police escorts, so
Yeah.
But somebody had to make a call.
we still don't know under what circumstances he's out, because you don't leave with the police escorting you. Like,
Yeah, that's
right,
right.
like-
He show up by
yeah,
himself.
like typically.
Yeah, I
So
don't know,
we don't
man.
know what's happening here. But that floored me.
you don't think that was
But
for him to prove his power? Like, I have the police on my side? That's what I saw.
I don't know.
I'm not-
I think somebody
part
had
of
to
me
make
thinks
some phone calls.
Part of me thinks they might be coming to arrest the bishop, and I don't know.
Right,
He
I
might
think
have
that
dimed
too
someone
because
out, but
the way the bishop closed the blinds, y'all. Remember that?
but-
that was
I said
deep.
it.
Them looks.
Yeah.
All it took was like a,
Yeah, like okay.
and I was like,
I'll save my prediction. But, we haven't talked really about Kevin and Charity. So like,
yeah, that is.
So of course, the minute we saw him looking at that little thing, we thought he's back on the app.
Right,
Like,
right, we thought
I
it
almost
was
felt
on.
bad, so I have to apologize.
Yeah.
I screamed.
How dare you?
So sorry, Ty.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about this whole new ministry of, I guess,
what is it called again?
So, I don't remember the name of the ministry, but essentially it looks like it'll help him get deeper in his faith and maybe no longer be gay, or you know.
What did you think, man?
You know what? As the story goes, for the character, I feel it's conflicting because I know people that have gone through that scenario.
Oh, yeah.
I know men that have 30-year-old and 25-year-old kids and are no longer married to their wives because they're like, look, like this is just not who I am. You know what I mean? Wow. And so it's going to be an interesting ride for him to go through, because is he going to see this through, or is he going to see the other option through? You know what I mean? So it's going to be really fascinating to see, where this takes him as a character, because that's real. That is.
What did you
real.
guys think?
What I love is that Oprah had mentioned that, she wanted their relationship to be more complex than we see in other shows or in other, scenarios.
He's gay and
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so important, because I didn't expect him to be back in the bedroom this episode. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. So I appreciate that she said stay, even though what she said following up wasn't the best. It was still, listen, I think she feels the love. I think she knows.
She's fighting
he
for it as
loves
best
me.
she can.
She's fighting as best. She just found out. I mean, what do
and
you
the babies haven't even
do?
come out yet.
Right,
Yeah.
she can't take that stress.
So-
That
so
stress
it's like-
cannot happen.
So I appreciate that. First of all, I just appreciate Kevin's honesty.
Yeah.
He keeps saying, I just want you to know I love you. I am struggling. This is what I want to do. He's making moves. I mean, I don't know what happens in other marriages, or, will they take this chance? Will they just leave?
Is it possible? That's right. Is it possible? Can he go through this program and then literally go, I'm shutting this part off?
Yeah,
Anything is
that
possible.
that
Anything is
Yeah.
possible. I mean, it's a tough situation. It's
like being dragged.
so real, y'all.
That is
It's
real.
so real.
That is real.
That it's a real sticky situation. It's real.
Crazy. Wow.
Yeah, I personally met people that have gone through faith-based programs and got married. So they're still together. So
Really?
not till I moved out to LA, but I started to meet a lot of people that had gone through some of these programs. So there's something.
that relationship is.
Right, it's complex.
It's complex.
And that's what I think was brilliant about the writing.
Exactly.
The writers nailed it.
It's funny. I told Ty, I was like, I wish you just lied. I'm stressed. Like, I'm stressed.
Save it for season 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Ty. Man.
Love it.
But another complex relationship, which has gotten a lot better, Bishop and Gigi. All of a sudden.
Yeah.
I even said, I was like, so they're talking now?
Yeah.
I mean, because he came out just laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh.
And Bishop and Jacob, like he slid him on over, like no.
Oh, and now it's part of the plan.
You're my eyes and ears.
Yeah.
But
was
that-
it always? Yeah.
I think you have to. You just have to give the bishop so much credit. This man is so slick, y'all.
He's a chess player. He's
Jacob is not
player.
a chess player, y'all.
Checkers.
I'm sorry.
He's
Thank
checkers.
you. Maybe Monopoly. I don't know. I don't know. Because it's like Bishop, the way he approached Jacob's situation, he said, "I knew you were going to tell me, boo. I still got you in the pocket of my hand." You know, Jacob. What we've seen for 13 episodes is, I want my father's approval, and for his father to kind of give him a blessing, but him still not be satisfied. He didn't have to tell his dad that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the dichotomy of the relationship. So it's that one's also so complex. I'm like, I'm in awe, man. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to believe the bishop has all the best intentions, and I really do want to believe that it is the Lord's plan. But the way he said it was just kind of like, it's the Lord's plan, but it's really my plan. You feel me? So I'm like, you feel me? I'm a little neutral when it comes to that. I don't know how to feel yet.
Right.
Season 2, y'all.
Season 2.
And what do you think about? I mean, I guess it's probably going to speak to backstory, but the father of Mavis and Mae, he's dying, and he just wants to see his children.
And when
makes me sad.
you're in that position, I'm looking at the character going, you don't have anything to lose. Like, what are they gonna do? Say something and put me in jail? No, I'll tell everybody everything.
Exactly.
I want to see those girls. You know what I mean? And they better play that card right.
That's literally what I was gonna say. Thank you. Play the card.
So did we get the secret? Because we're still a
What's
little
the secret,
sketchy.
guys? Like, somebody
Help.
me.
Hashtag help.
Right.
So, my assessment was maybe the bishop or Mac had burned down that church or maybe it was their church and they burned down to get the insurance money and mistakenly killed someone.
Well,
See,
that was
you
a
went to the
bombshell
worst.
too, because I didn't, the whole church burning down thing, that was a bombshell too. So, but when he mentioned that that's not the reason he left. Okay, but
why'd you leave?
Why? Right.
Yeah.
Why did you leave? And then Grace's face was like, she started to remember, because remember, the first thing he asked was, "Do you remember?" She was like, vaguely. But then as soon as he said that, her eyes told it all. It was like, she started to play it back in her head, and it's like, what were you seeing?
We need to know this.
What
bombshell.
happened?
So I think that's a season 2 thing, right? Because I need it explained explicitly.
It wasn't
The look, but it was
But
just
sometimes we miss stuff. So if you guys know,
Now, I'm like, what's going on in the chat? Next season won't be about her. We're gonna find out the secrets from the past. Okay,
we need to. Yes,
we do.
Lovely.
Hampton Blue, Lawyer and Grace.
shout out to
one
Hampton.
Grace.
Always
is-
Hampton
on.
Blue, right? Twitter go up.
Can we scroll up a little bit? There was another interesting comment. It says,
Oh wow.
"Wow, come on, Charity, give Kevin grace. I hope the bishop comes out clean. The bishop is smooth, but May, no trust on my
Well,
end."
yeah, I concur.
I get that. I get that. I don't know. Can we talk Carissa and Jacob for a
Oh,
second?
yeah, that's the next couple, and they're just confusing me.
You know
all
they
over
just
the
get on
place.
my
I'm
lap.
just confused. Well, yeah, go for it. Tell me what you guys
Ben,
think. I'm confused about
What
it.
do you think about them?
Oh wow. I feel like Carissa, as having gone through what she's gone through and endured publicly and privately what she's gone through, I think the teacher that on the side is kind of sparking an interest in her, because he kind of represents that younger energy toward how Jacob felt toward her during the beginning of the relationship. So she's probably like, okay, well, yeah, I can do this and feel good about myself and feel attractive to someone, and let me keep an eye on Miss Side Piece number 3 because I'm not going down that path again.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I might go myself.
but since you opened that door, I might just take a sample, but I won't.
I think Carissa's got some bad intentions. I think
I do too, and I'm not here for it, y'all. Because two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's like, you had such an issue with it. You feel me? And it's not okay. I'm not here for that at all.
But what was so interesting
not.
is that Oprah had mentioned that she liked the fact that they're back together because it proves that, you know, a man, especially African-American male, can come back, you know, can do right by his family and by his kids. And I'm kind of thinking, Oprah, do you believe them? Because I don't believe.
I already thought it was funny.
I don't believe them for some reason.
I got invested in. I believe them. I definitely believed his commitment back to her.
Okay, I do believe that, but
I don't know if I believe her commitment back to him.
Really?
Yeah.
She might be a little mad. I mean, think about it.
Resentment.
She threw that. She threw that in so
And
slickly.
it's like the directors go to each character. Oh, give your look now, because like she gave this look.
Okay.
And it was just a moment where you're like, I think you got some bad intentions.
Yes.
And so,
gosh.
No, you go.
yeah.
That actually reminds me. There were so many. There
Go to the
was
Bahamas for the weekend, baby.
Yeah, go ahead.
Next thing you know, she.
honestly to the director, this Clement, who is such a
Clement,
beautiful,
yeah.
like such a beautiful. The
Shout
scene
out.
between Charity and Kevin, and like the zoom ins and outs. I was in awe. Like I was literally staring, like, because you know how they're, you know, it's blurry when they're speaking versus not speaking, but Charity would be speaking and be blurred out, and I was taking that like she can't see clearly right now. Is that
That's Francis, if I'm not mistaken, the
literally-
director of photography or the camera operator. But they, phenomenal.
I was like,
Wow.
she can't see clearly, and neither can I. Like it was just,
Wow.
that's deep.
Wow, that's deep.
I was in,
Hashtag
y'all.
she's in it to win it.
Okay.
Y'all, this show.
For real.
Come back tomorrow.
For real though.
Lord. Okay. I don't know.
And so,
Where do we go from here?
Where do we go?
I'm tired. This show's about to come around.
Lord.
And so, yeah, what do we think about, I guess, the relationship between Pastor Skaggs and Jacob? So, yeah,
I feel like Pastor has an angle.
'Cause
He's too nice.
Mm-hmm.
He's just too nice to him. He's like, yeah, you know, no. His voice, the tone in your voice really says a lot about what's coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's really the truth. And I want to make that very clear. He has an angle, y'all. It's in his looks, it's in his tone, it's in his demeanor. He has an angle.
Wow, somebody just made a great comment. Notice how Mae put so much emphasis on calling Mavis a quote-unquote childless whore.
And it's funny because
There's a story there.
and we know that they
we
might.
tapped on that a little
Yeah,
bit.
about
That
the-
was a possibility. Wow. But see, I kind of put that to rest because Lady Mae did say, you know, you're always going around with my daughter, da 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 da. So I was like, maybe that's not. But I don't know. Anything is possible.
Well, I think what we do know, there was an allusion to Mavis and the bishop having maybe been together
Yes.
years
That
ago.
both say- I
When
remember that
she's,
too.
maybe the
Yeah.
other, she's like, well, he was a different person, you know. That might have been her different person.
Wait, I'm confused.
So
Isn't
I think-
Mavis and Bishop
No.
Wait, no. Oh, they're not. Oh, that's her brother. That's her brother. Oh.
And there's a scene where they're walking next to the lake.
Yeah,
And
I remember that.
And you can get on
Remember,
that
and we
Oh
had
my
that.
gosh.
And when we talked about that,
We did, but we put it to rest.
Right, but
It's bad.
right, anything is
And,
possible.
and not
y'all.
only did
Like,
she say you
that's
could
crazy.
catch that train anytime, she was
Remember,
like,
yes, yes.
You guys, they
Yes.
used to be together.
Yo, that's tea.
And Grace is their love child.
That's
very possible,
We'll say
though.
that for predictions.
Is that too much?
We'll see who predictions those are.
Grace is their love child, guys. Oh,
Well,
I'm
let's,
texting Merle tonight.
Did we just
Let-
find out some tea, y'all?
let's go right into it. Let's go into predictions.
Got it. Yeah, that's deep. I think that's about it, y'all. I mean, that's huge. I'm floored at that. I mean, that's very possible. That's
Season
very
2, yeah.
possible, y'all. Like, that's very possible. That's all I can say.
Okay, wait. Somebody said Oprah said before that Grace couldn't be her daughter off of looks. Did she say that?
Well, I mean, she couldn't be really.
I mean,
Lynn-
light skin, dark skin.
Yeah,
That's what you're trying to say.
yeah. So it wouldn't be their daughter either, Lady Mae and Bishop's, right? So somebody's got to be.
Ooh, y'all, that's too much. That's too much. That's too much, Shaka.
Oh, it was at a press conference, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe this won't be
Interesting.
racist
Okay.
under Oprah's.
Well, then I won't say that out loud
Okay.
anymore.
Thanks, you
Okay. Yeah.
But still, y'all, I don't know. I don't have no predictions, y'all. I'm just so ready for season 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you
That's
got?
So what I'll say is I'm gonna rewatch all of season 1
I love it.
so that I can make sure I'm on point for season 2.
Binge
Like I
watch.
can't miss anything. My prediction, I think that just like you said, the other pastor is playing Jacob. I'm starting to see that. Like
Yeah.
the 30 million, no, 40 million. That moment, you're playing him. So I think, unfortunately, Jacob is going to lose again in the beginning of next season. I'm not sure if he's going to be saved by his dad or not, or what's going to happen with that. And then, I don't know. I don't want to touch on the Carissa affair just yet because I really want to believe in her vision. But I'm going to go to Charity and Kevin. I don't know. I'm like getting them. I don't know. I'm gonna say they will make it. They'll just make it. Whatever that means, they're gonna make it, and I'm just gonna put that into the world.
You predict? Look, if you haven't seen.
I can't even talk
have you
about
seen anything yet? Okay, so yeah, as a viewer, you haven't seen anything. You haven't seen the scripts yet. So yeah, what's your predictions as a viewer?
As a viewer, I would say I think they're not going to make it. And I'll leave it at that. I think that Jacob and Carissa will make it happen, but I think that Carissa's going to slip. I think that Noah I think that Noah and Isabel ultimately are going to part, and I think that ultimately Noah will end up with Grace.
Is that what you want? Are you gonna finally answer my question?
Well, I think I'm thinking like just as a viewer, if I was watching this show, I think that he will come to her rescue because the lawyer doesn't stand a chance. The ex-husband doesn't stand a chance because we've got history, we've got all these things, and now that Noah knows that Mac was the cause of their breakup, now Noah has fuel to go 100%. In this direction. Not taking anything away from Isabel because Isabel's very, very, very determined. So I'm not 100%. As a viewer, that's what I could see could happen. Who knows? Who knows?
I can't tell.
And what are your predictions?
My predictions, yeah. I think we've already seen kind of Gigi take the helm at the church, so that one's knocked out. Kevin and Charity, I think that they're gonna make a run of it. I think they're gonna make it through season 2 together as a couple.
Okay, yay.
Yeah. Season 3, we'll see what happens. But
crap.
I think when those babies are born, I think there'll be an emotional thing. Yeah. There'll be some coming together, and then when that wanes, who knows who will be swiping where.
Right.
But I think the bishop's gonna end up going to jail for whatever went down back in the day. I think Mac's gonna be out and kind of free.
That's
so
it just makes me so mad.
You're already mad.
And what could it possibly be?
That's what, I love the bishop.
Right,
he has Parkinson's. He just told us the truth.
And so that those are my predictions. But we'll see where it goes. But we didn't touch on Gigi's sermon. I wanted to touch on that.
Oh, okay.
That was moving. What did you think of that sermon?
You know what? I want to say I was there for part of it when they were shooting, and I just remember just being like, "Whoa."
Yeah,
like she's leading this church, and the church is supporting her, and it's going to prosper. It's going to flourish. Like she is going to become the face and the vision of that church. And I think that's what what's also very powerful about what statement that in itself is making as a show. It's like, wow, like here's a family that's got to reinvent themselves, and here's the daughter who is taking the father's advice, like, look, I'm a preacher, you're a preacher, and we may not ever see eye to eye because of our past, but here's what it is. You are just as much of a leader as I am, and she believes that, it's like it's like the Matrix, like once she believes it, it's like there's believing that you can walk the path, and there's walking the path,
that part.
And she's walking the path.
It's weird because like she really, it's so interesting that she had this calling, she ran away from this calling, she comes back, and the calling was sitting there waiting for her.
Yeah,
that was what was so crazy because during the scene she wasn't as reluctant, but when she was talking to her dad, it's like, Dad, I'm trying to avoid this power because she knows I do have this power.
Right.
And I think that was so interesting because you think of like so many people in the world who are trying to avoid their calling, whether it's in the church or in other places, and you're like, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's yours. Yeah,
that's crazy.
When she said,
that's Gigi.
Right, when she was like, Calvary, are you ready for a new? That's when I knew.
Yeah.
That's all it took for me. Yeah. Her eyes was everything. That's when
the writing for that scene was superb because it's like, how do you handle it? And she did it the way that Grace would do it. It's to lay it all bare and then say, there's nothing we can do to adequately honor this, but we have a new season coming. So yeah, I just love the whole tenor of that entire scene was just amazing. So we'll see what's in store for Grace next season. Well, guys, we want to thank you guys for joining us. We have had an amazing, incredible season with you guys.
my
Thank you again, Ben, for joining us.
Thank you for having me
So-
back.
Thank you.
As always, guys, you can find me at Shaka Strong on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
Y'all can find me everywhere at Mr. Carter.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for this season. You guys can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStays.
And thank you so much for watching. You can find me at Ben Just Creates and Benjamin Patterson all day on Instagram.
Yeah, thank
We'll
you guys.
see you for season
Thank
2,
you, Oprah.
guys.
Thank you, Oprah.
Thank you, Oprah.
Thank
We
you.
love you
Thank
guys.
you.
Have a good night.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.